Hello everybody, welcome to the Man Alone Solo RPG YouTube channel. I am Man Alone, and today we're going to continue on our quest in the Forbidden Lands. I mean, it's Friday night. How about a little taste of the Forbidden? That's right, and as you can see today, I have a physical map laid out. It's good to stay in meat space here sometimes and play with these physical props. It feels good, man. You know what else feels good is the fact that so many of you have already picked up a copy of Vox Gravis that I released only about 24 hours ago. This is a solo RPG oracle that utilizes archetypes based on Jung's writing on archetypes. I made a video for this, the previous video before this one. If you want to learn a little bit more, that's linked in the actual product description on DriveThruRPG. For only $3, you can get this 25-page PDF made by yours truly. It's a copper bestseller, beautiful metal, lovely metal. A lot of people don't like copper anymore. Copper is the 112th wedding anniversary metal, so a lot of people don't reach copper status, but I am completely in awe of you, as Bobby Bacala from Sopranos would say. I'm in awe of all of you. The fact that I'm actually about to approach silver bestseller status, which means 100 sold. It's unbelievable. It's one of the top picks under $5 on DriveThru right now. So if you follow that link below, pick it up, give it a try. If you've tried it, you like it, leave a review. It helps a lot. I don't even know if that's true, what I just said. You don't have to leave a review. Well, if you want to, you can, but I mean, it helps a lot. I don't know why I said that. But anyways, thank you to everybody who purchased that, and anyone who's on the fence. Look, what do you have to lose other than money? Speaking of money probably being thrown away, last time I played Forbidden Lands, I was thinking of some ways to manage what is maybe a cycle of play in this game that can get a little bit, I don't want to say tedious. I had a lot of fun doing it, but Forbidden Lands is very much a game that is based on dates and times and calendar seasons, etc. And so just in between the last session and now, I've been thinking of some ways to lower the sort of mental burden of figuring this out every day. And I think the first thing and the most important thing is the easiest way is just to say, it's okay if we don't get it exactly right. We'll just do our best, and we don't have to have it perfect. But the other thing is that I found these weather dice, and they're by Steve Jackson Games of Munchkin fame, lore, and it's very interesting. They're actually divided up by different cities in the U.S., but I was thinking we could probably figure out some way to use different ones of these for different seasons. I think, for instance, Miami would obviously be whatever summer is in this game. What is it? Summer Wayne, Summertime Blues. And then also we have Tierra del Fuego in Chicago, which could be more of early spring, winter. Seattle, which would be mid-spring. Miami and Austin, summer. And then Phoenix, which would be the devil's butt crack of summer, so to speak. And so we'll try to use these. Now, I'm probably not going to have the resolution. Let me pause this. What an awful sound. Hold on a second. Yeah, it may not have the resolution, so to speak, of using a more complex system, but I thought we could use that just to sort of, I don't know, speed things along if it starts to drag a little bit. Obviously have my Fate Mill here, the playing card rolling thingy, and I have made this into just as cute as can be little Forbidden Lands depot here, and I think I'm really actually, this is really great. So We can have the weather dice in the middle. So say we're in Tierra del... I guess it wouldn't be Tierra del Fuego. That would make sense, right? Is Tierra del Fuego? Yeah, Tierra del Fuego. Okay, so we can roll for that during the winter. Okay, it's raining. Although it says the different ones on the back here. I took a picture of this. I might use it just as a thumbnail. It's confusing. Rainy, windy, cloudy, partly cloudy, stormy, hot, sunny, snowy. That's fine. Maybe even roll 2 of them at a time. We'll figure it out. But I also have here my torches, which are at a D8 step dice right now. It's my step dice. We share a bunk bed. And then we have the D8 step dice for food and the D8 step dice for water. And right now, because I had that sweet starting longbow, I have a D12 for arrows, my initiative cards, my close combat cards if we decide to use it, the mule dice, although this can go over here with my little oracle rollers, and whatever else we need, and then the official dice here. And I also made this little thing. We'll see how this works. Previously, I was using these little like loose hexes to say whether it was day, evening, night. What I have instead is like we can say I just drew these, and I'm very upset because I have had this problem since I was little. No matter how hard I try to draw a moon, it's just a banana. It's always just a banana. How do you get that like nice? And then I tried it again. That looks like a croissant. So anyways, this would be night. This would be my attempt at like morning, which is like the sun rising across the water. Yeah, this was like both my attempts on that. This would be noon or afternoon. And then evening. Oh, no. You know what? This is morning, right? Because the sun is just rising. Then this is the noon, afternoon. And then this is evening. And this is banana or night. And so I figured I could just sort of like, rotate that when I think of it. And that will tell us what time of day it is. And again, these are just easy ways for me to track things. So if we look at the calendar right now, and I do have this cool little calendar from, who is this? I got to do a shouts out. Raven's Reckoning by Dark Forest Tales. We are done with the first of Spring Rise, and we're on to the second here. And so it's still kind of cold. I'm thinking that we probably want to use then combination here of, because it could be quite cold. We're looking at like January, February. So we'll use 1 Chicago, which can give us sun, wind, rain. Yeah, and then maybe 1 Tierra del Fuego. I think that's the right way to go because Seattle... Yeah, so I think this is the one, and then we can roll them, and we'll say, like, oh, it's windy and rainy. And if something doesn't, windy and snowy. But I'm trying to figure out, too, like, some days I don't want any inclement weather. And so I don't know how we would roll up, like, maybe... I can roll it with, maybe I'm making it a little more too complicated now, but maybe we could roll it with something else. Yeah, like this one has, I think just 2 things on it here. It has this shield and this little pow. And those, there's some grognard out there who is able to tell me what is this dice actually. But what if we rolled that dice with this, which is mostly blank except for 2 outcomes. And if it's blank, we go with these dice. If it's this shield, then that sort of like nullifies it and it's a blah day, right? It's just like, weather is unremarkable, not much of a problem. Here is like a really nice day, actually. It would be nice to have a third option, which is like a really bad day, but I think it's just like that would then, be whatever the dice are. So that would say if it was blank and then it was snowy and it was rainy, it's sleet. Whereas if it was like this, it's just an okay day. And if it was this, it nullifies that and says, hey, it's really nice out. We'll see how that works. I kind of like that idea to start. Why not? Yeah, so we embark on the second day, and we're going by we're getting a little deeper here into the solo procedures, and I'm starting to have opinions on it, and they're mostly good opinions. So this is the solo expansion by Matt K. So there's nothing that I'm like appalled with, but I'm thinking there's a couple of things here that like maybe I want to use, maybe I don't. But one thing that I know for sure is just in terms of hex travel, I think the way we're going to do it is on most days, I'm going to travel, and that's going to be morning and afternoon. And we're going to do I can roll like an encounter on one of those. Or if I'm going through difficult terrain, maybe I roll it on each one. And then quarter 3, I'm going to like prepare camp and then either hunt or forage or whatever. And then on Q4, we'll try to sleep. Is that missing some stuff? Yeah, maybe. I'm not really sure. I've read the the rules on this several times, and I gotta say, I'm not quite sure like what the appropriate way to do this is. But I like somebody on in the comments last time. Actually, let's give a shouts out. Doing a lot of shouts out. Okay, yeah, this was Wayfarer. I think it's like Wayfarer, but with Fay. 3574. 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, 7 days a week, 4 days a week. I really like this. Eat and drink the first thing in the morning. Love it. We roll on those because breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Completely agree. And if you're like looking at, I don't know, I was about to say prehistoric, but most of early history, people just ate once a day, right? And so that also would organize that. It would be like a little bit abstracted, right? And then I think if I don't have enough food, I have to hunt and forage before I go, lest I start suffering those effects. So that would kind of slow me down. So that's an incentive to stay on top of that. The rules say to roll for a random encounter once every quarter day while you hike, which means you can travel 2 hexes on open terrain before doing so. If you remain in the same hexagon, you roll random encounter once each day. Now, I'm aware of the new hex procedure for solo, but I don't agree with it having twice as many random encounters each day on open terrain. And I kind of see that point, right? Like, which is now narratively, it makes sense. You're covering more ground. You're going to have more of a random encounter, but it almost penalizes moving these on open terrain, right? You would actually, in some weird way, you are sort of taking more of a risk by traveling on open terrain. With this method, if it wasn't like this, there could be something to be said for like, oh, I'll just travel on tough terrain all the time and then I only have to have one encounter. So I like this, making travel more dangerous between rest and difficult terrain. Maybe all activities could take 3 hours instead of 6 on open terrain to balance things out. I personally find, so I think I should have the sleep scout yeah. So we'll just kind of figure that out. And I think that this is probably a good place to start in the morning. Let's do like food and water right away, right? And so again, the way that we do this with step dice is we just say, we roll it, and unless it, I don't like that, unless it is D1, if it's 1 or 2, then we step down to a D6. If not, then we have enough to stay at the D8. So actually food did go down to a D6, whereas our water is still holding strong. So that's good. We have, well, it's not good, but like we're in it, it means that like we're playing the game here. And so what we'll do is, oh, good. I think that's the same color. Yep. And so we're on a D6 now, and we have to start thinking about food. Now, I didn't technically have to do that because I did eat last night. But even so, we're just, we have to have one day where we're sort of resetting the clock, so to speak, or resetting some sort of rhythm. And also it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, it's fine. Okay. And then, so we're good with that. We still have, let me just, maybe I should, let's see. Maybe I should bring this over here. Where's a good way to, it's kind of hard to see, right? Yeah. All right. Okay. So we're going to continue, and I am leaving home, right? I'm from the Harga Wastes. Now we are trying to make it over here. And, oh, can't see it. Trying to make it over here, which is the Everpool, right? This is the place where the story is that elven, what was it, a ruby? Some sort of precious stone was cast into this pit, and I have some, on good evidence that it can be found there. What I'm thinking right now, and because I wanted to experiment with the stickers, because I love putting stickers on, I did put sort of like a stronghold sticker here, and I'm thinking that maybe there can be a little castle nearby, and maybe that could be a stronghold, but we'll see. Like, I don't know how long it's going to take to travel there. We might find some place that's a more worthy or just as good stronghold before then, but I really want to get into the stronghold so that we can start doing that shared stronghold thing. I have people in the Discord, members who are interested in starting that up, and so I would like to get and establish a stronghold, sweep it out, take the cobwebs down, etc. Okay, so we're going to travel in the morning, and then we'll travel in the afternoon. And now let's do a random check for random encounters. And we're using the expanded rules here, rolling our card dice. So 2 to 10, we'd have a random encounter from the GM guide. And then a face or an ace would be different. So we have a 4 of diamonds. All right, random encounter. Oh, you know what? And last time, I forgot to say this. Last time I was like, oh, I don't like that I have to decide between Book of Beasts and the GM's guide. Well, it actually says it on here. If it's diamonds or hearts, you go to the GM guide. If it's Book of Beasts, or I'm sorry, if it's clubs or spades, you go to Book of Beasts. And so because we're diamonds, we'll go to the GM guide, page 147. And I can actually, I think this is the GM. Yeah, this is the GM guide. So we'll go to 147 here. And we have D66. We could just use the null dice for that. And because 51, because we are in, I think it's still, well, a little bit of a forest. We'll call it mostly plains. We will do 51 is 6. And this is going to be the horse. You hear the neighing of a horse, and suddenly it stands before you, a proud stallion with saddle bags. Oh, okay. Saddle, bags, and saddle blanket. Its owner is, oh man, this is so exciting. Are you kidding me? Bags and a saddle blanket. Its owner is nowhere to be seen. The lonely horse twists his head, clearly frustrated. The horse belongs... Oh, this is like behind the scenes here. So I'm going to have to figure out how to abstract this. So the horse belongs to the noble Levid, killed in an ambush 2 days ago. In the saddlebags, there's a valuable find, as well as the rose-shaped sigil of a noble house of the owner. The horse is combat trained, but does not take kindly to strangers. However, a successful animal handling role calms the animal. If it fails, the adventurers will have to catch it. The adventurers will have to catch it by force. If they return horse and sigil to Levid's family base in a nearby castle, they'll be rewarded with the ownership of the horse, as well as a precious fine, or I can just steal it. Anyways, okay, so the first thing we want to do is I think we want to figure out what kind of horse this is. Now, because this is early game and we might end up with this horse, we want to make sure that we're not overdoing it here and giving me, like, you know, the greatest steed that ever was. But at the same time, it's a horse, so Grudler is out. All right, so we have Witherbeam. I doubt that Witherbeam is going to be this because, okay, Witherbeam is steered like an ordinary horse with reins, legs, and other aids. The horse is fueled with blue tar, which is poured through the nose after the bigger horn has been unscrewed. The horse breaks if dense water is poured through the nose after unscrewing. So this thing is really like okay. Weatherbeam automatically gives its rider the talents Path of the Plains and Path of the Night, both at rank 1. If the rider already has these talents, the rank increases while on the horse's back up to 3. Witherbeam counts as a trained horse, but has a strength of 8, agility 4, movement 3. So Witherbeam could be it. Bonejaw is a wolf, so no. Greycat's a wolf. Suncrest. Suncrest was the pride of the Cord chieftain Hovax, but after the noble stallion threw his owner 3 times, and this could be, Suncrest sounds right. He ordered the beast to be slaughtered. The appointed executioners were, however, not so dumb and sold the beautiful steed with directions to the buyer to discreetly vacate the region. Okay, maybe this can be the issue here, is that Suncrest was owned by a noble and they tried to sell it, but this dude is not really interested in being sold. It is very willful. Suncrest is taller and more beautiful than other horses, but willful and with a mind of his own. If there are rutting mares nearby, he forgets everything else. If Hovax catches sight of the horse, the situation may become bothersome. So we could just maybe replace Hovax with Levid. Jaggerda is dropped on the ground. 1 second. All right. The workhorse Jaggerda was raised on thistles and tough, dry brush in the barren frontiers of Harshmoor. Because of that, grown up to be strong and resilient. The prospector who owned him was killed when ogres attacked, but Jaggerda won the respect of the ogres. Jaggerda loves herbs and was spared. Maybe not. No, this doesn't seem like it fits. It's a prospecting horse. Spunder. The unremarkable wretch Spunder worked the mill in Grindbone until torture master Hargan lost him in a game of dice. The winner quickly realized that he had to leave the village, but was nevertheless assaulted and beaten to death in the forest. Spunder escaped. It's kind of the horse is listless and obedient, but frightened by the scent of blood, skittish from the beatings he received. He has a flair for detecting the unseen, menacing threats, and will stop his nostrils a quiver. Okay, so if we change the story a little bit, that would work. Molvia is a pony, so we'll leave. And then Heliende went astray as a young foal. She only allows herself to be ridden by those she respects. Dalner planted a shard of a ruby in the mare's chest that allows her to heal even severe injuries. The shard lets Dalner know where the horse is, and if it is in danger, Heliende hates wolves. Okay, so I think these can work. So maybe let's shuffle them, and then based on the outcome of this, we'll craft a little bit more of the story here. Okay, great news. So just as I was putting all the cards away and clearing my area a bit, I pick up the GM guide, and of course, Grudler falls out, looking pathetic on the ground. So I am not giving in to what Grudler wants, which is for me to automatically pick him to be the horse. He's a mule. Okay. I will put Grudler in with the other cards as a it is possible to pull Grudler, but I am not giving a complete sympathy. I'm not giving a complete sympathy draw to Grudler here. I'll give Grudler a chance. Okay? Zuma is a battle beagle. Okay? Now, that might not mean anything to you, but what it means to me is if I'm going to have essentially a cohort of myself, Zuma, and a third, it needs to be a noble, powerful beast. Okay? What's the best way to do this here? All right, I'm going to look away, and then we're just going to shuffle. And we're going to, all right. What can I use here? Oh, I've got it. All right, I'm going to put all of these in this envelope here. I won't look at it, and we will just randomly pull. Come on. 1, 2. Please don't be Grudler. Please don't be Grudler. Please don't be Grudler. 1, 2, 3. Yes! Helliende. Okay, this actually makes great sense. What? You want me to take Grudler? Let me just read Grudler's card. The mule Grudler is a suspicious and easily offended gelding who never forgets an insult. He is wise enough to pick his opportunities for vengeance with patience and care and knows where bites and kicks hurt the most. If Grudler... It's even spelled wrong in here. It says Grudler up here and then Grundler. Grundler. If Grudler seems unusually docile, he is probably plotting revenge. Grudler is a comfortable mule, but is willing to carry burdens as long as he is fed food in good quality. Otherwise, he'll become contrary. The mule is terrified of water and must often be bound and carried across a stream, something he finds extremely offensive. Should I take Grudler instead of Helliende? Yes, but I can, if I find someone better, I'm replacing Grudler. All right, so Grudler is Strength 3, Agility 3, Endurance 2, Move 2, Scouting 4, and Movement Rate of 2. And we'll have to figure out... I don't really think I'm going to be able to ride Grudler. I think Grudler just sort of carries our stuff. Maybe Zuma can go on Grudler. All right, whatever. So Grudler is... I see this mule. I'm just going to ignore like this noble thing here. So let's get some... Actually, let's just get some inspiration here to see how this this encounter... Like, what are the circumstances of this encounter? 6 of hearts. Ethereal. Okay. Spades. 8 of spades. Foreboding. Okay. So I'm walking on the plains, and all of a sudden, from about 50 yards away, I look up. I'm sort of lost in thought. And suddenly I look up, and there is just a mule standing there staring at me. And there is absolutely no one around, and the mule is looking at me like it knows me. Like, dare I say, like I owe him something. And I decide, you know, I have a... I have a mission. I need to prove myself. My whole life has been a farce, and I need to make my way in this world, and I'm certainly not going to create a great story for myself if it's a great story is not going to involve a mule, all right, named Grudler. A great story is going to involve a beautiful mare, a gallant steed, and not this dude. And he's staring at me. And so I'm saying all this. I don't even think about all this stuff I'm saying right now. I just say, hey, Zuma, come on, let's just kind of move. And I move probably 10 feet to the left, and then no matter what, this Grudler, this mule is moving with like the angle of best pursuit towards me. So no matter what direction I go, it's just sauntering wherever I go, and like so that if I continue in that direction, it cuts me off. So then I turn right, the mule starts going right. Then I go left, it goes left. Then I kind of charge forward, and it charges forward. And finally, I'm about 10 feet away, and I'm just like, Zuma, what is going on here? And Zuma does Zuma like Grudler? Yes, but Zuma is still loyal to me, and so Zuma is like, can we, kind of giving me this look like, can we make a friend? Looking for my lead. And I'm like, no, I don't even know who this belongs to. It could be somebody's, this could be somebody's beast of burden here, and I'm not going to come along and steal this thing and make some trouble for myself. But literally, wherever I move, this guy is just like, it's almost like the side of his body is like touching mine. And finally, I'm like, oh, and so I look inside, the little, what would you call it? Like the saddle, the bags or whatever. And inside, I find, let's get this little input. And remember, we have, what is it? Ethereal and foreboding. And inside, it says, let's see. Okay. It says, most beasts, it says, unless you give to Grudler the loyalty he deserves, there will be many dangerous roads ahead of you, and they, though difficult with Grudler, will be much shorter. So to say, if you don't take this animal with you, then you're going to encounter something. It's foreboding, right? It's telling me that there's some sort of danger ahead. And it's written in a very weird curling ink. And as I'm looking at it, I'm like, what the hell? Like, what is this? And I look up, and Grudler's just got a stupid face looking at me. I'm going, how could, who? And then I look down at the paper again, and it's gone. Like, the writing's gone. And so I figure, I don't know what's going on here, and I just walk away. But no matter where I walk, this dude just follows me. And so I'm like, okay, well, I guess just let's go, right? And so I'll continue walking, and I'll move into the forest here with Grudler in tow, which, by the way, Should roll some weather. All right, so it's cloudy and windy. And so we go into the forest, and let's see. Let's do an encounter inside the forest here. Queen of Spades. All right, so this is a face card. And this is General Encounter. Draw a card and consult the chart on Book of Beast 170. Okay, so these are the General Encounters. So we'll roll again. And this is a King of Clubs. Bandits. Game Master's Guide 183. Okay, so this is, see, we just got to trust the Grud. Trust the Grud. All right, so let's go to GM Guide. Is this the, yes, GM Guide 183. And we have some bandits on our hands. So this is good. We'll do some combat here. So we have strength is 3, agility 3, wits 2, empathy 2, melee 2, marksmanship 1, survival. Okay. They have broadsword or axe, sling, shortbow, leather armor, D6. Okay. So these are, say there's how many bandits? 2. All right. So we got 2 bandits. And I'm going to just bring out a little hex board that I could put on top of this for combat. Let's see here. All right, so we don't exactly have just the right tokens for everybody here. We'll use the standees from, what is this called, actually? I forgot what they are, but they're very Dragonbane adjacent. And so we have our 2 bandits here, and I actually did fill out these NPC cards that I'll use just to keep track of. These are actually pretty cool when they have both actions available. You have that checked, and then if they use like their fast action or they use their slow action, you can click here so they only have their fast action left, etc. And basically, they're both 3/3/2/2. And I'll just call them Bandit in. And they have, let's see, melee, marksmanship, and survival. And I'm using, just to start, we're going to keep it pretty simple, this combat reference table from idleredhands.com. We'll say there's no surprise or anything like that for this one. And can have them over here. And this will be me. And then for these, this is, I think the way we'll say this is like, this is what Grudler and Zuma, how they see themselves. And especially for Zuma, this is not, you know, yes, Zuma is a beagle, but this is really like when Zuma looks in the mirror, that's what Zuma sees. And then Grudler is way off, but this is how Grudler thinks of himself. I'm not even certain Grudler can fight. The mule is terrified of water, strength 3, agility 3, endurance 2, move, scouting. He is wise enough to pick his opportunities for vengeance. So, yeah, I have to like figure out a system for Grudler, because Grudler is just not going to do what I want all the time. And so I think that in terms of initiative, we'll have Grudler be part of combat this time. But in terms of initiative, I'll have to figure out a system such that, like, certain cards drawn for Grudler's initiative mean that Grudler is not interested in that round of combat. And I don't know. We could just mix these up right here. All right, so we will go bandit woman, bandit man, me, because I'm solo player and I'm just going to do that. Grudler and Zuma. Okay, so we'll say I'm actually going to put Grudler and Zuma on this NPC chart. That'll be easy for me to keep track of them, but essentially it's going to go Grudler 1, and then Bandit Man 2, and then me will be third, and then fourth is going to be Zuma, and then last will be Bandit Woman. So that's fifth. Okay, I'm just going to fill in these NPC cards so I don't have to keep referencing back and forth during combat. Okay, so we have drawn our initiative, and we would, I guess, declare actions, 1 fast, 1 slower, 2 fast. Target declares reaction. Okay, so let's go to the solo rules, actually. And I think it is there where we should start with the Book of Beasts and the solo rules there. And then we can add anything that comes up in the expanded solo rules. Let's take a look here. So, combat. We'll group enemies in the same initiative slots. Okay, I can do that. So we'll say we'll have both of them go second. That's fine. And companions and allies can be grouped. I don't think so. I just don't think it'll work with Grudler. Give monsters 1 initiative. They're deadly. A second initiative can be slotted if the companion has more than 1. Okay. Have companions help the main PC's actions as much as possible rather than having them always act separately. Combine adversary NPC actions with help dice as often as possible. And then we can loot when they're done. Oh, that's it. Okay. So let's see if there's anything in the expanded rules that we want to play NPCs intelligently, as if you're a GM giving players a challenge. Use NPCs' talents whenever it makes sense, but use the guidelines in PHB Player's Handbook for talents which use willpower points. Consult the yes/no oracle. NPCs don't coup de grace. Yeah, we'll have to figure out how to coup de grace. We should do that now. Let's not leave that hanging. That's so I know what that is. The coup de grace is like if somebody is down, you can kind of go up and try to do an action where you just put them down, so to speak. But let's just make sure. What page did they say that was on? 108. Okay. An opponent who has lost all strength or agility is defenseless. If it's an intelligent being with wits and you want to give him a coup de grace and kill him outright, you must fail an empathy roll. Even if the roll fails, you must spend 1 willpower point and suffer 1 point of damage to empathy. Killing in cold blood is not easy. If you have cold-blooded, you can kill defenseless enemies without these negative effects. Okay. Before initiative is drawn, if your opponent is a monster, which they are not, if your opponents are NPCs, draw a card against the helpful or hazardous. So maybe I'll do that, but I think just so that we could practice combat, we'll say that they're hazardous. If any NPCs are the same kin as you, draw 2 cards and keep the most beneficial. Right. Okay, if your opponents are not hostile, resolve the scene through normal roleplay. And then we draw initiative. At the start of each of your opponent's turns, ask the following: are at least half of the opponents defeated? If no, the NPCs keep fighting. Melee NPCs move to attack to the closest PC. If there's more than one choice, decide randomly. Range NPCs always move and attack if they can. Move them intelligently, so they try to get as close as possible without putting them in harm's way. And then we'll figure out expanded combat next time. So where is the helpful? That might be in the helpful or hazardous. Very well could be in the original, which I should just combine these. Just put them together. I think they're probably going to be helpful, hazardous. I could do a search. Okay, here we go. Let's just see what this would have been. And then we can role play from there. All right, so Jack of Hearts. That would have been very helpful. Well, we're not going to do that. So walk into the forest, and it's getting a little bit dark. And so, you know, right? And Grudler's walking along the side, and Grudler is occasionally just like, you look over, and Grudler just has like garbage in his mouth. He's just like chewing like a half helmet or something, and you're like, oh Lord. Zuma is very attentive, looking left, right, center. All of a sudden, down from the trees, drop 2 bandits and go, a beast of burden. That's what this is. You know, I am an animal rights activist. And then this one says, yeah, right. You don't even like animals. You yelled at a bird the other day. He's like, shut up. I'm doing like a big intro. She says, oh, yeah. He says, why don't I unburden your beast of burden? And I look over, I'm like, Grudler. My first instinct is to say, it's not even mine. But Grudler suddenly is looking at them with like violence in his eyes. And I go, no, this is not yours. I say, oh, and so it's yours? No, but you can't take it. We have to figure out who this mule belongs to. And they say, so if you don't even know, why don't you just hand it over? And at this point, Zuma is like battle beagle mode, right? Teeth are flared out. And be like, well, actually, I was kind of lying about the animal rights kind of thing. Why don't you tell your little mutt here to back off before I unburden it of its breath? And at this point, I'm like, all right. Combat time. I'm just going to drop some like little things on the battlefield here so that we can I guess just some barrels just so that we can have some cover or something like that. So we'll go here, and here. And we'll say that this, and I guess I could just put them like this because as much as I enjoy having these upright, you guys really can't see them. Although Grudler's going to be an issue. Okay, so right. So we'll say movement is 2, so that's 2 squares, and we'll say cover, 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 and we'll say that Woman Bandit is ranged attacks. And so they are going to go, Grudler is going first. And I gave Grudler just a attack of stomp for 1 damage, but you know, maybe Grudler can help. I'm not sure the best way to go through with this, but looking at my character sheet here, that would be a good thing to center ourselves on really quick. So Jorma has the longbow and the staff. And so I would say, because we have some distance right now, we're going to use the longbow, which has a +2 bonus. So let me just clear these out here so we can get some combating going. All right, so we'll go 2 for that. And then marksmanship 2. And I believe those are the skill. Yep. And marksmanship is based on agility. And so, and this is where I get like, does anyone else have this when it's finally time to go? You're like, oh, I forgot everything. So I'm just going to like chill here for a second. And I am pretty sure that ranged attacks are going to use marksmanship. Let's see if this little quick guide has that, or if they're like, shoot. Okay, yeah, marksmanship, readied weapon. Oh, I have to ready my weapon. That's right. Okay, so that's a fast action, and then shoot is a slow action. And so I don't think I'll be able to go this round. So I'm going to get into position right here, and then I'm going to ready my weapon. And I know I just took Grudler's initiative. That's fine. So we'll say that no actions are available for me. Let me move this over. I'll move this over so I don't have to keep opening and closing this. Okay, so we'll say that Grudler is going to sort of like stand, and as much as he can, because I'm just going with what's like in my mind. Grudler kind of has like a big butt. And so Grudler is like trying to rear up and intimidate, doing fine. It's more like weird. And they're like, look at this thing. You know what? I was going to steal this thing. Instead, I'm just going to grab the saddle and then do the world a favor by getting rid of this guy. So he's not going to be able to get close enough to attack. But as far as non-attack, use item, power word. Yeah, Grudler's power word. What is it? Fart. Run, feint, get up, ready weapon, draw weapon, crawl, flee, cast spell, taunt. Okay. Maybe Grudler can taunt. That'd be kind of funny. You'd have to do a performance skill. Let's see. Maybe I think I can give Grudler a performance skill. I like that. And we'll say that performance, what is that normally tied to? Empathy. Well, Grudler doesn't have empathy. How can I do this? You know how you do it? I'll show you how you do it. This is a method from the old world. What's Grudler's empathy? 1. Good. Grudler 1 empathy and can taunt. So it has performance 1 and can taunt. Now I'm guessing that taunt works how taunt usually works, right? Which is like enemies will be drawn to attack. And so we'll say performance 1, empathy 1. It's not a great roll here, but hey, he's trying his best. And it's a 6. Okay. So all right, so let's actually see what if we can find something on taunt here. They're incredibly dangerous foes when taunted. No. Taunt. No. Taunt. You can use a slow action to taunt an enemy. The enemy must be in short range and be able to understand your language. Nah, I think Grudler universally. You cannot taunt monsters or animals. Roll for an opposed roll for performance versus insight. If you succeed, choose. All right. Well, that enemy has no insight, but insight is linked to what? Wits. And so their wits are 2, and so we'll do 2 pure base roll here as an opposed roll. Nothing. Okay. So Grudler taunted this punk, and what that does is the enemy is angered and must direct their next attack at you. If possible, the enemy is distracted, and his next roll is modified by -1. If you roll more 6s than you initially needed to win, the enemy's next roll is modified by an additional -1. Yeah, I think, and then you may embellish insults. Grudler is going to look at this guy. This is like Grudler's true gift, is he looks at you and it's like he's looking at the part of you that you're most embarrassed of. And so Grudler comes up, looks right at the guy and says, "What are you looking at? It's a normal place for a belly button." Grudler says, "Stupid horse." And we'll give a -1 for this chap who's going to run and give it a nice college try here. I'll do melee 2. I don't know how someone would help with this. Was only going to push his arms. We'll do these guys separately. So we'll do melee 2. Of course, melee is going to go with strength, and so that's 2. Broadsword or axe, sling or short bow. We'll say a broadsword is fine. Let me look up the. That's what it takes here, folks. Let me look up the bonus. I'm assuming it's +1. Use the GM guy here. Broadsword's +2. Damn. Okay. It's a little tough for the first one here, but we'll try. All right, so that's +2. Broadsword, arm's length, damages 2, edge pointed parrying. I'm gonna take that broadsword if it's done. So do 2 gear, 3 strength, and 2 melee. Yeah. Is that right? Yeah. 3, 2, 2. Okay. So it comes in with the broadsword and says, "Laugh at me? How about I give you a new belly button, horse?" And does hit 1 here for Grudler. And so Grudler's strength, I guess I would have to roll armor, but I don't really think Grudler has any armor. Combine armor and helmet rating. No, nothing. But I think, and I could be wrong, so let me know, but Grudler can... Grudler used up all the moves, so I don't think they'd be able to like avoid. Okay, roll reaction, agility plus move skill plus bonus. Sure. So I'm thinking like, well, let me just see if reaction, because if it's like Dragonbane, you have to have an action left to have a reaction, but I just want to make sure that that is the case here. Okay, yeah, as I suspected. So, Grudler is hurt pretty bad here, right? Because it's actually this axe. Luckily, it was hit with the broadside of the axe, but I'm gonna say Grudler is probably knocked here, like unconscious, and actually the axe was 2, so that'll bring the strength down to 1. And that really. Oh, you know what though? The taunt. The taunt decreased it by 1. Now, technically, I should have removed 1 die, but this was the die that I was going to remove. I just forgot to do it. So Grudler laughs in the face of danger. And then Zuma, who just suffers no fools, is going to come in, jump in here with a bite attack. Now, does not have melee, so I'm not certain how this works, but I didn't make that up. The dog does have a bite attack. No, not the iron. Yeah. Melee 1. Right. So I don't know why I didn't give Zuma a melee rating. Is there anything? Scout. Did I love that wolf smoking cigs. So let's see. Dog strength 3. Yeah, I know that I pulled something from agility. Did I pull it from like Book of Beasts maybe? I don't know where I got this. I don't know where I got these stats from, to be honest. I'll have to look back at the video. Okay, guard dog. So it says C127 in the Game Master's Guide. That's where we are. And so where did I get this? I know I added... Oh, you know what? I think it's from the solo expansion. Yes. So let's see what this had to say. Just pause for a second here. Okay, lots of changes. So as far as how melee got taken off there, I can actually see that I had it written and I erased it. I must have just forgot to put it on again. So the other thing is that the animal companions in the expanded solo rules use insight as a similar what is it, strategy, as like performance. And so what I'm going to do is I'm removing the insight for animals. We'll keep relating it to wits so that we don't have to use an empathy rating, but I'm changing their skill here to clever. So this is anything that they do that demonstrates like supra animal intelligence. And so Zuma will have clever 2 and Grudler is only going to have clever 1, and then we would just add that to wits. But I did add the melee back because Zuma definitely does have a melee rating. There must have been, so, and I know the scout was reduced because we added an endurance, okay? But the melee should be 1. All right, so we'll go scout. No, this one still has. Okay, so we'll go scout. No, not scout. Melee is going to be the skill, and then strength is 3, and if successful, I think then it will bite for 1 damage, which is a slashing attack. And this thief does not have any initiative left. And we got him for a 6. Great. So that takes Bandit Man down to 2 strength. And then we'll go for Bandit Woman, who is right over here. I just don't want to lose my spot on this map. Can I move this? Yeah, let me just move this. I'll move the whole deal. There we go. Yeah, so she's right there. And we will have her do a ranged attack and marksmanship of 1. Marksmanship goes with, I believe, agility. Yep. And but in the same deal, I think also she has to ready her weapon. So I think she's going to take cover as well. And not to get too in the weeds with anything here, but I also think this is the worst way to figure out how cover works. But let's see. I'm just curious. I think, man, I have so many. I have so many year 0 games in my head that I can't tell which way's up and which way's down. But I'm almost certain that cover is going to reduce the... It's either going to add a +1 to like armor, or it's going to reduce the number of dice rolled by the attacker. And so zone features, cramped, no. Rough, open, borders, line of sight, blocked. If the border is blocked by a wall, a deep abyss, or something similar you cannot pass. Obscured, something along the border of the zone blocks the line of sight, but not movement. All right, range categories, we have that. Movement, close combat, doors, fleeing, ambushes, reactive actions, fast actions. You know what? It might be easier to do these like card-based actions. I'm not even kidding. At this point, this is it's not hard, but I'm just saying how much more complex can it be? All right, let me look this up. All right, here we go. When enemies are shooting at you, hunkering down behind cover, preferably something solid could save your life. Taking cover behind something counts as a fast action. Cover has an armor rating and works like armor, but only against ranged attacks. As opposed to armor, cover's not degraded. Cover can be combined with armor. Roll for cover first, then armor. Okay, so this would just count. So she's going to ready her weapon, and that is going to exhaust that. And so then I think we would start over here, right? So everybody's slow and fast actions are available. We keep the same initiative. And of course, Grudler desiring revenge. And this is kind of tough because it's like, well, let me put them up right. Grudler is definitely going to go in for the big bite here. And so we'll do melee 1 plus 3. And Grudler wants blood. Maybe I could figure out a way to do Zuma and Grudler at once. And so let's do, Grudler will do a help. Okay, so we'll add a skill for Grudler's help. And I think what Grudler's going to do is like use the broad side of his body to just like push this bandit toward Zuma, almost like Zuma. You know what? Zuma can jump off of Grudler's back. How about that? And that way we can roll an additional die, and we can also take care of both of those together. All right. So we do have 2 successes. Very nice. Now, how this works in terms of successes in Forbidden Lands is like the first success is going to be whatever the damage is. So for instance, for a bite, this would be 1, and then any additional ones are going to be another point of damage. But let's just say it was a damage of 2, right? The broadsword. This would be 2. An additional 6 does not do another 2. It does +1 to that. So this would be 2 damage. And because of this, this bandit man is broken. All right. And there should be nice to have like a little clicky thing to make this person broken. But we could just say they have no actions available. So this is going to upset Bandit Woman, and she probably has line of sight here. 1, 2, yeah, so she has line of sight. We'll say that she has any 1, 2, 3. 1. Okay. So I'm going to maintain cover, and I don't know. It's a barrel, so we'll say it's an armor rating 3. And her weapon is readied. Short bow, I'm guessing that's what, a +2. Let's take a look here. I'm working with so many animals. The short bow, yeah, is +2. We're sort of approximating short range right now. Short light damage is 1. Okay, so yeah, it's going to be +2 for gear, and 3 for agility. Let's get this over there. And marksmanship is just 1. Oop, do I have +2 in there? All right. So that is 1 success. But my character is actually has armor, and additionally has +3 armor for this barrel. All right, and so we're gonna add 3, and it's a little bit interesting here, and I'm sort of wondering, do I combine all of the bonuses for everything, or is there something that I should pick out specifically? I suppose it depends where the hit goes, but either way, it would be 3 dice for the... Oh, let me use this little combat reference sheet here. So it'd be dodge is move skill, which is 0. How is my move 0? Don't I have to have some move? Move skill, and then agility. Yeah. Okay, let me review this. That's right. I had to declare it beforehand. I had to declare that I was going to dodge. So I won't take that beginner's advantage twice. We'll say that I'm just going to tank the hit. Now, you can't wear more than 1 armor at the same time. And because I have this 2-handed bow that I've readied, I'm not using my shield, but I do have 3 gear dice for my armor, and I can also add 1 gear die for my helmet, which also has the added benefit of if I get a critical injury, I can just tank the helmet, like not use the helmet or destroy it. If any damage pierces my armor such that the damage is more than my armor provides protection for, then my armor is degraded by 1. Again, cover is not degraded. But to use this armor, And since I'm not dodging, so it's kind of a straight up and down roll, armor plus helmet plus cover. And since, again, because cover can't be degraded, which doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, like if somebody keeps hitting it, but I guess it doesn't apply to melee attacks. Maybe I'll modify that. But anyways, so for every one I roll, it will block 1 point of damage, and that's all the damage that is coming from this anyways. So hopefully we get at least one. And we did. Okay, so no damage. It got stuck in the barrel, which is really great news. We'd probably at this point roll an attitude check. I actually want to do that because, to be honest with you, this one doesn't appear as much of a jerk as the other one, and maybe, I don't know, I don't think I want to like bring any NPCs on board right now or anything, but maybe there's something to be gained here. Let me move this back in. So I'm gonna see how this goes, because also we'd have to roll coup de grace against empathy. All right, so it says at the start of each of your opponent's turns, ask the following: are at least half of the opponents defeated? If no, they keep fighting. If yes, roll a number of base dice equal to the number of opponents still fighting. If any swords or sixes are rolled, they keep fighting. If no swords are rolled, they flee. Your PC and companions each get a single free attack on any NPCs they are attacking at arm's length or shooting from range. Otherwise, the NPCs flee and the combat ends. Melee. Okay, we talked about that. So there's just one left here because dude is broken, and we can, unless I roll a 6 here, then it's over. And I didn't. Okay, so that's a 3. And even though, like, Zuma is a battle beagle, so Zuma puts his jaws right around Bandit 1's neck, and she goes, "Wait, stop, please, stop. We'll go." And I wonder, just want to try the coup de grace here. 108. Okay, an opponent who has lost all strength or agility is defenseless. If it's an intelligent being, you want to give him a coup de grace. Kill him outright. You must fail an empathy roll. All right, so this wouldn't be possible for Zuma to do a coup de grace because Zuma does not have empathy rating. And so we'll just stop the fight there. But I think this would be a good place to add a little bit of flavor to who this is, who this other thief is. And I think that's a good place for the theme oracle. And so she says, stop, please. I don't know what that roll is. 10 of diamonds. Consequence. All right. So says, please, I understand. We tried to rob you, and we shouldn't have. But we just don't kill us, okay? We're sorry. We'll go. We'll give you. What do you want? And I say, what do I want? Taking anything from you would be stealing something. It's stolen. She says, no. That's not. I have stuff that's not stolen. I go, oh really? What do you have that's not stolen? She says, well, I have this orb. Holds out an orb that's pulsing. And I go, you didn't steal that? You just happen to have a pulsating orb in your pocket? Yeah, I really didn't steal it. I really didn't. We found it yesterday. It was I don't know. It was just in the middle of the road. And I look at Grudler. I'm like, yeah, I've been finding a lot of things in the middle of the road lately. I said, well, why would I want that? And she said, I don't know. I don't know. We don't know what to do with it. And honestly, we'd probably just try to sell it. So why don't you just take it? All right. Maybe it'll do something. Just please, just let us go. Zuma looks at me and I say, I'm sorry, Zuma, not today. You won't be able to register a kill today. And I say, all right. But you have to look at me as you give this to me. You have to give this to me as a person, as a human. No, that doesn't make any sense. Who the hell would say something like that? I say, looking for a name oracle here. Okay. So I say, all right, fine, hand it over. But I want to see, let's see, empathy, manipulation. I also hate how manipulation is used in year 0 because it just doesn't make sense. But I think this would probably be it. So manipulation roll, empathy of 3. And I want to see if I can detect if there's any like deceit going on here. Okay, no success. So no deceit, or no deceit detected. Is this orb safe? Maybe, but it's definitely not going to do anything right now. Like, whether it leads to good or bad things is debatable, but it's not going to hurt right now. And so I say, I'm going to choose to trust you, but tell me your name because, and now I'm like sort of posturing. I go, because you know what? If I swear, if this is some kind of trick, I will hunt you down. She said, okay. I really don't even want to be a thief. I don't know. There's just nothing in the hollows. So we decided, if we wanted to like make a name, we would have to kind of take it. And I've always been a good shot. And I say, listen, I don't want your life story. Just tell me your name. And suddenly, like being a little bit assertive here is, it's a good like feel on me. I feel kind of empowered by that. It says Queen Club. Oh yeah. Are they to find a D4 to chalk against the board here, and so that it can roll a nice 0 times. Gosh, I can't even find D4s when I look for them. Okay. So we'll say 2. So Asleen female to 7 of clubs. Whatever. So we'll just say Epi. My name's Epi, and he's Heyman. Okay, we're just gonna go. I said, Epi Heyman, and I look at Grudler and I look at Zuma and I say, we'll remember those names. Now get the hell out of here. So this orb, there's movement beneath the surface of it. It looks like it has some sort of energy. Epi and Heyman run away. Let's see if I give myself a little bit of loot possibilities. Say they drop something here. So we'll just do a card draw. Jack of clubs, 1 unit of torches. Okay. Don't really need torches, but thanks. So we'll say move myself up to a D10 torch. There you go. All right, I'll add the torches to the stack here, and I look at Grudler. I say, so can I store some of these torches here? Grudler looks at me, and I swear, even though this is a mule, I could swear that he looks and goes, which is a very human sort of thing. And I go, I don't know what is going on here, but we need to get out of this forest, and we need to make camp here and probably try to forage for food, which I will do before the next time we join each other at about an hour and a half. Still learning the ropes here, but, get through combat, learning a little bit more. Let me know if I'm sure there are plenty of things I could have improved on, or maybe I missed. Let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I guess I have my crew here, Grudler, and I'm stuck with Grudler. So, all right, everybody. Thanks for coming. Is that how you end? Thanks for coming. That's weird. I have to have like a snappy phrase. Thanks for being a part of the men. No,